Why fried chicken is always better at restaurants. How do I get the crispiest fried chicken? How do I make it taste better and season better than KFC, for example? These are just questions I get on the channel. I'm gonna answer those here today. Now, what kind of chicken should you use for fried chicken? That's all subjective, really. If you're gonna say white meat, go for it, but I'm gonna say you're wrong. I prefer the dark meat. Now, it might seem a little daunting to break down your own bird. Let me tell you, it probably is. Look, I've broken down probably, I don't know, anywhere between 50,000 and 100,000 chickens. And let me tell you, after the second chicken, it's all pretty much the same. It's very easy. You're left with a lot of pieces. You're left with the carcass to make stock. And in reality, it's cheaper. Also, sorry if I sound weird. I bit the out of my tongue the other day and it really hurts. Now look, this is very fucking simple. You put the buttermilk in a container and then you put the chicken in a container and you let it sit in your fridge. You pull it out when you want to fry it. That's basically it. And the conclusion I came to is this is sitting in the walk-in cooler in the restaurant, so it's getting all that flavor and that time. So what I'm gonna say is just give it some time. At least give it a couple of hours if you want to fry it the same day. But if you can, hold it overnight. And if you can, put a fucking delicious hot sauce in there to give it some flavor. Like some Valentina or some Frank's Red Hot, or even some hot sauce that I showed you how to make on the channel. You wanna check that out? It's on the channel. Go make your own hot sauce. But Valentina, that's my childhood right there. This is so fucking good. This was my go-to for family meal all the time. So this is something I would make at family meal. If you don't know what family meal is, it's just basically the staff meal that we would make for the whole restaurant every day. And fried chicken was definitely looked forward to when I was in the back. I'm just cutting my chicken up and I'm leaving the skin on. Now, if this was a different style, like say karaage, I would take the skin off, but I fucking love skin on fried chicken. To me, that's the move. So the breast, like you can cut into like 3 ways. You can also remove the tender from the breast and have some chicken tenders to go along with it. 3-way split breast is pretty good. I mean, that's a decent size. All of the chicken just goes into the buttermilk, keep it in the fridge covered. Also, don't forget, when I showed you on the last chicken video, take that carcass, toss it in the oven, and make a beautiful stock, just like this guy right here that's in my fridge. And I talk about how to hold it best with this fat layer. Just go check out that video if you want to learn about that. But yeah, this can hold in my fridge overnight if I'd like, and I could just keep it in there. Honestly, you could even keep it there for like, 4 or 5 days and you're good to go with that bird. Now, also, I just want to take this moment to say, because I keep getting these comments and they're really fucking annoying. I get those people that are like, dude says it's better at restaurants, but he's making it at home. That's the whole point, everybody. Wait for this to turn off. It always beeps when I have it open too long. That's the whole point. The point is to show you just the stuff that I did at work all the time so you can do it at home and you don't have to go out to get fried chicken somewhere else. You can just make it at home if you want. It's so fucking easy. I just want to show you how to do it at home. Oh look, I've got a whole container of duck fat. Now I'm gonna get real nitty gritty here. The fat that you use, it makes all the difference. You might be saying, why don't I just buy the cheapest oil, fry it in that because it's only gonna get thrown out? No, you wanna use something that is good quality and tastes good to you, because the reason why fried stuff is so good is because it's absorbing all of that fat. That's why deep fried stuff is, yes, pretty bad for you, but if you use a good quality fat, it could be better for you than using like a seed oil, like canola and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna utilize is this duck fat that I have, and yes, I've used this duck fat already like 3 times. As you can see, it's still pretty clean looking. You just have to filter it out, keep it in the refrigerator. And since I don't have enough duck fat to fully deep fry, I'm also going to add in some beef fat. And yes, the beef fat is totally fine to mix with my duck fat. They're both animal fats. One has a smoke point of 400 degrees Fahrenheit, while this has a smoke point of 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not gonna make too much of a difference on efficiency. I'm gonna get that luxurious fattiness from the duck fat while getting a nice beef flavor from the beef tallow. Are you following me? The flavors is what I'm adding here. I'm adding layers of flavor. And look, man, here's another thing that's gonna bake your noodle if you didn't know this, but you can also season your oils with some herbage and some peppercorns and stuff like that, and you're gonna make your oils taste even better. So yes, season your oils, and then you can steep it in that. And whatever you put in there, it's gonna have that tasty herbaceous aroma as well. Now I'm just gonna go out and say, maybe not every restaurant uses beef fats and duck fats, but the good ones do. When you take your time with things and use good quality stuff, you're gonna notice the difference, and you're gonna actually start to think, hell, it tastes better when I make it at home. Because that's the whole reason for this series, me showing you like all these small steps that would usually be taken at a fancy restaurant, and that's why it makes it so much better. You can do this at home. Just take all these little steps here and there. They all start to add up. Now, how do we season the chicken? Let me introduce you to something I like to call chicken fry. Chicken fry is a style of cooking the chicken, of frying the chicken, and this style always consists of this seasoning here. It's always the base of the garlic powder, the peppercorns. I'm using 4 types of peppercorns here today. I'm using onion powder, I'm using garlic powder. It's always got a cayenne and a paprika pepper mixed in, and this is usually your baseline chicken fry. So whenever someone at some restaurant is getting smart and they're saying like, we've got chicken fried Brussels sprouts, or we've got chicken fried cauliflower, that's basically what it means, is they have this seasoning and the flour and they deep fry. It doesn't have anything to do with chicken. It all has to do with the seasoning of the fry. By the way, quick note on oregano. This is just something I'd like to be crystal clear on with you. And I didn't even follow my own rules the other day, and that's because I didn't want to go downstairs and grab my other oregano, and you know, I paid the price. Look, Mexican oregano has its place. Mediterranean oregano has its place. This I would use for braises, things that take longer cooks, because this you do not really want to eat straight up. It's very woody. It has a very strong woody flavor, texture. While this, on the other hand, this is more delicate. As you can see, it's lighter, and you could cook this quick, and it's going to be very nice on the palate. It's very different from Mexican oregano. They both have their place. Sorry, I can't fucking talk today. I told you I bit the fuck out of my tongue. And this is what makes KFC chicken taste so different. And that's why people are always like, what's the special recipe for KFC fried chicken? And that's the seasoning in their chicken fry. That's basically it. So make yourself a chicken fry seasoning, hold it off in a container like this, and there you go. I could put this in whatever I want, keep it in my pantry, pull it out, put a tablespoon here and there, chicken fry, voila. I usually do a 1:8 ratio of chicken fry to my flour for my dredge. That's always my go-to, 1:8 ratio. Or you could just, like, you know, do to taste on your own liking, see how it is the first time, then the next time adjust your taste. Okay, now, here is the secret on making your chicken the crispiest. And 2 things. First thing, this is not the key factor, but it is a very beneficial factor, and that is cornstarch or potato starch. Any type of starch like that, I would do a 1:4 ratio of my cornstarch to flour. And this is gonna give it a lighter dredge. That's gonna be a crispier chicken. Look, I understand not all you guys have these at home, so this is what you do. Wash your hands. And I'm not saying gloves are a reason to not wash your hands. You should wash your hands before putting the gloves on, but you do want to make sure your hands are very thoroughly clean before you do this. Something to remember: wet hand, dry hand. Wet hand, dry hand. Now I remember why I use gloves at home. It's because I can't touch the fucking camera with these hands now. This is why the chicken is gonna be very crispy at chicken fried restaurants. Pay attention very closely. Look at this chicken leg. That looks thoroughly coated to you, right? But look how smooth it is. It's very smooth. So what you need to do, gotta take your hand, okay? And you're gonna squeeze it into the dredge. And the reason why I'm squeezing it into the dredge is because I want to slightly just tear the chicken all around. I'm just slightly digging my fingers into the chicken, making little tears all around the whole bird. The reason for this is it creates more cracks and crevices, which equals more surface area. More surface area equals more texture. More texture equals more better. And you just want to have more texture so you can have a crispy fried chicken. That's all there is to it. And yes, this is how you achieve it. You might be doubting me, but I'm telling you right now, this is the freaking way, man. I mean, look at it. That looks like an actual like fried chicken you'd get from like KFC or something, right? Like it's got all the cracks and crevices. If it was smooth, it'd be boring, and having texture makes it fun. It makes it delicious. Texture equals more flavor in my opinion. And actually, I think it's a fact, but look at that. Beautiful. There we go. That is my bird, ready to be fried. I lay it on a sheet tray just so like all that excess flour can get some sort of drainage and it doesn't clog up my frying pot. But yeah, this is it right here. If you want, you could put this in the fridge and hold it for about 30 minutes to an hour. Now, before I begin frying, I just want to show you my all-time favorite thing to season the chicken with after, and it's very important that you have your seasoning ready to go. So it's gonna be the base of salt. Garlic powder. This is about a tablespoon to a half cup of salt. And then citric acid. If you don't have citric acid, use a little lemon peel. See how much I'm adding? I'm just adding like a touch of citric acid to this. And then MSG. And there we go. This is a sour garlic salt. It's fucking delicious on everything, especially fried chicken. And now you can't say that I didn't season my chicken. If you don't think this is seasoning in the chicken, then I don't know. I don't know what else to do. And this right here is my setup. Got the birds, I've got my frying fat, and then I've got a rack on a sheet tray to put them on, and then I'm gonna season them generously. And I have a thermometer just so I can check my oil. I want it to be at around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's where I was when I just checked it. So I'm pretty much good to go. And then of course, I wanna make sure that my hoods are set a little high. Okay, now what you have on your sides is also very important. I have so many different sides I like green ranch with my chicken or mac and cheese or biscuits. But lately I've been loving a kimchi base mixed up with thin sliced scallions. And that's just like a really nice, bright, spicy pop to have on the side with the fried chicken. Yeah, this stuff is just delicious. A little like kimchi scallion situation on the side. Another thing that's a must is a really nice hot sauce. I already made a video on the page about this hot sauce, and it's just good to make your own because you can make it as spicy as you want, more acidic as you want, and it just adds like a nice pop to your bird. Now at work, I used to keep it on a rack and a sheet tray in the oven on low just to keep it warm for when it was ready to serve, because you want to keep your chicken warm and you want to make sure that it's ready to go. Now there is your family's 10-piece. Fuck yeah, that looks good. So one chicken makes this much. Well, there's still extra, and then there's still the pieces over here that I kind of burned. So one chicken makes quite a bit, just so you know.